Good evening, everyone. Afternoon, morning, whatever it is. Today you're joining me on a little drive in the 730. Bloody hell, that is a bright sun. Today we're going to be having a bit of one-on-one conversation, talking about what it's like to own such a car at a young age, because I was driving this car at 19, even though I am 20 now. So obviously a car like this is expensive. It's very expensive. You've got fuel costs. I did the maths. It won't be perfect because it was a projected cost, but this is costing me about $3,000 a year on fuel, which is quite a lot. Then you've got maintenance, because this is a very expensive car, that you need to keep it happy, you need to keep it healthy, so you have to be very, I don't know, what is a word I can use? You have to be very perfectionist about it, I suppose, because it's an old luxury car. It needs everything doing as well as it can be done to keep it going. The reason why these cars are so rare nowadays, and why there's only 600 of the M Sport versions like this one, is because people bought them thinking, yeah, this is awesome, giant luxury BMW, and they didn't factor in the maintenance costs, and they were like, oh, I'm sure it can survive an extra 2,000 miles on this oil change, so I can save up a bit of dosh. And it couldn't. I mean, some 730s probably will, because the M57 is extremely durable, but the other ones, the V8s, the V12, they wouldn't survive that. Tyres, I mean, because I've got the sport version, I've got the 20-inch rims with the 275 rear tyres, which I am going to be putting 285s on eventually, but right now I've got 275s, and they cost upwards of £300 to £400 per tyre to get a good tyre, because you don't want to go with Linglongs, do you? You want to go with some Pirellis or Michelins for a car with this much torque anyway. Obviously there are tons of positives. Like, I feel cool as hell driving this car around. People look at me all the time. Like, I'll drive past an old guy and you'll just see him staring at me, because this is a car from his era and he never got to have it, and I do. But I'm not trying to act all big-headed here, because I am extremely lucky to have this car and to find this car. I'm only the third owner. This car has been extremely well cared for, including stuff that I've done to it that I've put in the booklet. This car has hundreds of pages saying when it's had oil changes, new tyres, new parts and all that, from 2008 to now. So that is a very well documented car. And obviously it's a lot of fun. It's very quick. It's just overall, it's a very cool car that comes with some complex costs. On the bright side, insurance is great. Insurance is amazing. I mean, my last car, I had a 1.2 Clio, and if I stuck with the same company, which I have done for this car, they would have given it me unlimited miles, no black box, for about 400 quid for the year, but that was only because I'd done 2 years black box driving with them and they knew I was a safe driver. But when I changed over to this car, it's a £1,095 for the thing, full year, which is a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But if you get any other BMW, if you get a 330d that has the exact same engine, because they are more commonly owned by younger people, they are more likely to be crashed, and therefore they cost a lot more. It would have cost me $2,000, maybe even $3,000 if I got a 330d instead of a 730. So I've saved a lot of money on insurance. What else could I talk about? You know, driving this car is so nice. Even though it's 18 years old, because of how well kept it's been, it feels like I'm driving on a cloud. And if I need to go, it doesn't make a big hissy fit about it. I put my foot down and it goes. It throws you into the back of the seat because I've remapped it, and it goes. It doesn't think about it. It doesn't struggle. It's just like, oh, you want to get going? Let's get going. And then you go. It's great. It is honestly the smoothest car I've ever been in. I don't know what I'm going to do when I go, because I want to get a K11 Nissan Micra, one of the early ones, the boxy ones. I want to get one of those either as a second car to have while I have this, or as a car after this, God forbid anything happens, so I can then save up money and get a 370, because that is like basically my dream car that I know I can accomplish even on a minimum wage job. It's not my dream car, but I absolutely love the 370. It's kind of like TDC. You had William. Hello everyone, my name is William. He has the Lamborghini Murcielago, which I'm really happy for him for that. I must admit, I was a big smiling mess while watching the video of him getting that. But obviously he has other cars that he absolutely loves and he keeps, even though he has the Murcielago, which is his all-time favourite. It's the same deal with me with the 370. I absolutely love it, but it's not my favourite. My favourite is actually tied between the E30 BMW, the E36 BMW, the original ones, the older ones, and the C6 Corvette, the early C6 Corvette, because that is just such a beautiful car. I love it, I do, I really do. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the K11. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Because it's a tiny car and it's great and it's a lot of fun and it looks awesome, but that's going to be my daily, and it's going to be so much more uncomfortable than driving the 730 for a daily. But even with me working full-time plus extra shifts, putting in as much work as I can to be able to afford this car and afford mods for it, it's too expensive to keep running. I either have the choice of putting away some money and struggling, or buying something for this car and struggling. And if I don't do either of those, then what's the point in even having the car? You know what I mean? If I'm not putting away money to save up for another car, or to save up for some mods for this, or I'm not just buying mods outright, what's the point in having such a cool car? There isn't really, is there? Well, there is. A lot of people will say to keep it stock, which I am sort of doing. Obviously, I've got an XHP transmission tune that can be taken off. Easy peasy. Plug it in, go on the phone, take it back to stock. Fine. Remap, easy peasy. Put it back to its stock writing. The badges that I've got, I'm putting them back. I must admit, I had my fun thinking I've got a BMW. I'm big and tough, and I wanna be all cool. But now that I've been driving it for a few months, every time I look back at it, I think those badges look shit. So I'm going back to original badges. But the purple calipers, that can go back to stock. The V-bars, they can go back to stock. All that stuff, I can move everything that I've done to this car so far, can go back to what it came in if I wanted it to. And I won't be doing anything that can't go back to stock if you really needed it. But obviously I don't want it to be stock. While I have it, it's not going to be stock. Talking about that, these are for some future episodes, I guess I should say. The V-bars behind the grille, they're going back to black. They were cool, I like having them purple, and this is obviously an M Sport version, so even though it's still a luxury car, it's still the sportier version. But it was too loud for this car, especially since it's the Shadowline trim. It's supposed to be black, and smooth and not loud, you know what I mean? So they're going to go back to black. I'm going to get the original badges. I'll be fitting a body kit eventually. I'll be doing the whole thing in one video, hopefully. So a big transformation video. Keep an eye out for that one. And then I'll be getting an exhaust as well, but not a full exhaust, because I'm keeping the DPF as this is a road legal car, so it needs to stay road legal. All I'll be doing is removing the back box to make it so it's a bit more grunt when you put your foot down, but it's still quiet enough for normal driving. But yeah, back to what this whole video was about. If you want one of these cars, if you want to drive a luxury car like a Volkswagen Phaeton, a BMW 7 Series, I've got others in my head, I can picture them, but I can't tell you the names. But, oh well, it doesn't matter. Just if you want a large luxury sedan from back in the day, because, you know, they don't build them like they used to, you need to look out for some things. First off, you need to check how much paper they've got. If they don't have much paper, don't buy it. It will probably break down or blow up or have some major expensive electrical problems, because that's the main thing that goes wrong with these kinds of cars. It's electrical problems. The good thing about this car is because it's the latest version of this car, they refined and removed a lot of electrical gremlins, so this car has genuinely got nothing wrong with it other than a single parking sensor which has killed itself. So I need to replace that, but I haven't done that yet because I'm awesome and I don't need parking sensors to park the giant boat. I haven't had parking sensors since I got the car, actually. I've been driving it for 4 months. But yeah, so you want to look out for the papers. You want to make sure it has a lot of papers, a lot of all the work that's been done written down, because then you know it's been cared for. You want to look for lower owner cars. Don't go thinking, oh, I need one that's only got 50,000 miles, because that'll be far too expensive, and chances are it's not going to be any better than a higher mile one anyway. This beast is currently running, let me tell you actually, I'll tell you the exact amount. 205,391 miles. The reason why this thing is still going strong, even with a remap and a transmission tune, is because it's been well cared for, well maintained, and owned by people who know what to do with a car. So it doesn't matter if it's a high mile car, as long as it's low owners and it's got paper. I mean, there will be a few that'll have like no papers and high owners that are still good, safe cars to get, but chances are they probably aren't the best. You want to look out for rust as well. They have this car specifically has an aluminum body, so it's perfectly fine with rust on the body. It's the subframes that you want to look for, because they're so big. They struggle to get cleaned under the bottom of the car, and so because of that, salt from winters, road grime, dirt gets all up in the subframe and in the bolts and all that, and everything rusts on, and it's not good. So you just want to keep an eye out to make sure it's clean. So yeah, basically, there are 3 things that I can give you. The first one is to make sure it's got low owners. Doesn't matter about the miles as long as it's got the papers. The second one is make sure it's clean, make sure it's rust free. It doesn't matter if it's got some curbed wheels or anything, as long as it's clean and not gonna fall apart as soon as it goes over a bump, that's fine. And then finally, make sure you know about the costs, how much it'll cost you on fuel, how much miles per gallon it gets, how much the insurance will cost, the road tax, the maintenance, the tyres, everything. You need to make sure you know how much it'll cost to make sure you can afford it and you aren't just going to ruin a nice old luxury car. And here's a quick tip, by the way. If you want to get a luxury car, try and find an M Sport 730D, because they are becoming more and more rare and they have started appreciating. So if you don't buy one now and you think, oh, I'll get one in 2 years, they'll go from being 2 to 3 grand to being 8 to 10 grand in 2 years. So if you want to get one soon. But honestly, I absolutely love this car. It makes me so happy that someone who's come from a family that hasn't been blessed financially and has had to work from a young age as much as he can to be able to save up and buy this car. It makes me quite proud of myself, I think. Oh, post Boxster. But yeah, I think I'm an atheist, right? I don't believe in God, and I mean, if you do, I have no quarrels against that. It is entirely your choice. But all this is going to sound proper stupid, I think, but all I'm saying is there was definitely something that saw me struggling all that time, getting all these hours, doing all these jobs and saving up all that money, you know, not having meals and things to get this car. And then when I thought I had enough money to get one, all of a sudden one pops up only an hour away, and it is genuinely the rarest and cleanest car I've ever seen and ever owned. This is probably going to be the rarest car I've ever owned in my life. So something must that just seems far too lucky, if you ask me. But you know, there's only so much that you can put things to luck, really. But yeah, if you want to get one of these cars, be careful, be very careful, but don't let someone talk you out of it just because they don't believe it can be cared for. If you know that you have the mechanical know-how and the financial capability to own an early 2000s luxury vehicle, or late 2000s in my case, then go ahead, do it. If especially when you're young, when you don't have many, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you know, when you don't have things that you have to do, like pay for the house, pay for the kids' food, all that stuff. When you are young and you can spend your money as you will, getting one of these things, in my opinion, is one of the best things to do, because it gives you so much fun. You know, it may not sound like it to someone else, but to me, sitting in my driveway, taking off the wheels and giving the underbody of the car a nice clean is a beautiful way to spend a Sunday afternoon, in my eyes. And if you like cars and you can afford it, I think it'll be good for anyone, because these cars teach you to be careful. They teach you to be respectful of the machine you're driving. You know, it's not a 118D. It's not going to get launched through a back road at 80 mile an hour and put into a tree. You have to respect this machine and it'll respect you back. You have to protect it. You have to keep care of it. Give it everything it wants and it'll give you everything you need. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, that's about it, I think. If you sat and watched through that whole 20-minute rant of me talking about my car, thank you very much. And I hope I'll see you again sometime soon. Bye bye.